Here's the boneyard, everybody. We've got tons of beautiful Missouri weathered limestone getting ready to go into this pondless water feature. It still amazes me what it looks like to begin with, just a pile of rocks. You are truly going to be amazed of how we turn all this into this. Alright, so the basin is in. We've got all of our aqua blocks in there. This pondless vault boxes, we're getting ready to plumb that up. We got the first two boulders in, which are our big waterfall framers and the waterfall. We're about ready to set this guy right here, and then we'll continue on up. Got everything drawn out. It's moving along awesome. So what we're doing here is we're installing a product called concrete cloth, and it has a really densely woven fabric. You can see that, and it's embedded with pure Portland cement powder as well as other polymers. And what happens is when that gets wet, it sets up just like concrete. So it's soft, dry, and pliable now. We put it in place. We're also going to put another layer of that right behind these waterfall stones here, and the idea is to prevent any kind of chewing rodents and chipmunks in particular in our area from getting access to the liner, because when they get in there, if this waterfall is shut off for any reason during the winter or for whatever reason, for some reason those little guys like to chew through the liner, or they nestle in there, find a little home, and then they end up puncturing holes through the back of that liner. And what happens is then you've got golf ball size holes that you have to patch. Patching is easy, accessing is very challenging. So what we do is we actually offer a preventative measure for that issue. And the homeowner went with the option just to protect the waterfalls, which in this case we didn't see a lot of activity. It was kind of just a strike in advance of what could potentially happen, but it's money well spent, because imagine if we have to come back and take out that entire waterfall. Most of the stones are all machine set, so when we come back to do that, we're bringing equipment, we're tearing up the yard again. It's just not worth it. So this is one of those cases where an ounce of prevention is definitely worth a pound of cure. In others, we've had issues where it was really, really bad, and we've actually done a layer underneath and on top of the entire liner. But the product is extremely expensive, very challenging and costly to work with. And we felt that probably just the waterfalls is a safe bet here, but it is definitely something that should be considered if you've got activity with rodents, mice, chipmunks in your area. Today, guys, we were able to finish sealing off this waterfall. The water's gonna kind of roll right around that nice little turtle stone there, come really rolling and crashing through all these different areas. It's gonna be a really cool effect on there. And then the stream twist is really super neat. We've got this hard bend. It goes around to the right there. So the homeowner's gonna see water kind of coming through here, but they won't see where it's coming from. This little waterfall right here is gonna be like a horsetail fall. It's just gonna have water raging through there with about 17,000 gallons per hour. It's gonna be super cool. That angle, you'll be able to actually pick it up a little bit from the driveway over there where the trucks sit, garage. But as you're coming around the bend on this big circle drive, you'll see that. And then we've got this other twist ready to go. We're gonna actually have a nice big wide, probably a ledge type waterfall there. We want to have a real highly visible fall there. It's only going to be maybe about a foot or so, but that is going to be picked up right from that front door. That's going to be super cool. Every day you come out and you see that. And then this area here is our deep pooling section. We're putting an under drain in that so we can get some of the sediment out of there, make it a little easier on maintenance. Just kind of putting a pipe with a bulkhead through the side of the liner, perforating that. That's going to be really kind of special for maintenance and helping the homeowner out. And then right up there, we're about ready to get those biofalls set. We're gonna have a nice big waterfall coming into this pooling area that's gonna hold maybe almost a foot of water, maybe a little bit less. So we'll have this. You can just imagine all that water surface, and then it culminates, drops through here, rips through this bend, and then twists again down through there, and ultimately ending at that basin. So it's really coming together awesome. Cannot wait until tomorrow where we can get more of this progress done, actually get some boulders set and start making this thing look like it's about to come to life. Today was some good progress. We got all this stuff rocked in, ready to go. We got the waterfall sealed in here. We've got some outcropping set. Getting ready to cover up this section here. Looks like it's gonna rain on us, but man, we got so much cool things finished up today. We got this big twist. We set this big 2-ton ledge piece that just kind of sets the framework for that ledgy like type waterfall right there. You see how this is really kind of flat? Same thing there, it just mimics that. It looks like this all at one point was all one big shelf rock. We've got our big framing stone there. We're going to set some more behind that. Got to raise that outcropping up a little bit, but we got our deep pooling section done as well. That is coming in nice. We ended up having enough grade. We did the homeowner a big favor as well as ourselves and put it in this under drain so we can clean this section. Deep pooling sections tend to have a little bit of sediment buildup in them, and what we're doing is we're taking that through this pipe. We're going to run it down. He had a drain down there that we use for our overflow, and we're going to double that for this, which will make it easy. All you got to do is put a hose in there, let that drain down, ball valve right in this big tall pipe. We'll make him a tool that he can open that up, drain that thing down, rinse it. Be real quick, easy maintenance on there. And then from there, tomorrow we're gonna be cutting in that waterfall there. It's gonna be a nice big wide one facing that front door and those kitchen windows back there. That's kind of gonna be one of the main money shot waterfalls, as well as the two coming out of the biofalls up there. Great progress, it's coming along awesome. So if you remember when we first started, this was where that big volcano Grande Biofalls was, and then they had these channels that were cutting down, so one stream ran that way, one went right by that way, but it just felt so contrived and unnatural. Now we've got big accent boulders and outcroppings to set the stage for what's to come when you're driving up this driveway, so they're not without anything stone-wise in this front space. It has some accents. Hopefully they're going to really plant this area up, get this space filled in. I'd love to tie some more high shrubs and maybe the little landscape trees into this vertical zone so that we get a nice backdrop. But this compound slope going down towards the house and also down towards this other garage created the need for some outcropping. So what we did was we outcropped this side to hold up that flat plane there where this tree was and where this hillside really kind of starts, and then we started cutting down into it. But what it did is it allowed us to get all these big, beautiful, nice outcrop accent boulders placed in so that there is a space to plant in between it, and also to tie the stone into the landscape other than just in the stream. One of my pet peeves is just having a daisy chain of stone running down through the stream and falls, because it looks contrived. You really have to spread that stone out into the landscape, and that's exactly what these outcroppings do. Not only are they anchoring this feature to the space, it's also creating that terrace and mimicking that shelf rock that we see. And if you look, it corresponds right with that waterfall. So in nature, you're gonna see big shelves of bedrock, and then the water is going to carve right out between that. And that's exactly what we're trying to do when we recreate these natural features. I love this huge ledge piece here that really gives us an accent to this curvature that we have, because this literally takes two 90-degree turns. We got the double biofalls up there with tons of water moving, the deep pooling section, and then this really wide sheer descent. We wanted to have that really front facing to this kitchen windows behind me, and then it turns hard left, and then we've got it choked down over there really tight into about a 7 or 8 inch wide space. The water wells up like 3 inches in there. We got so much force coming through there, and then it dog legs, turns another hard turn this way to come down to this basin. And I tell you, this is some really interesting waterfalls. These big framing rocks, we utilize part of that to get water kind of running over that. We put a splitting stone in there, but it's just spinning, rolling right around there and dancing through there, getting tons of splash. All these moist gravel stones, the pollinators are just gonna love those. That's where they're gonna land and drink all the water from this system. And then we've got this stream that's got a nice little current ripping through there. I love how that really gives you the movement of that water. And then check out that stone there, or that fall. That thing is just smashed in there, horsetail style, really, really tight. We didn't want to have another wide waterfall, but man, what it did was give us, check out how thick that water is rolling over that stone. It's welling up almost 3.5 inches, just pumping through that little section, creating that little gorge effect. And then we got some larger cobblers here because that kind of force would wash that gravel away. So we changed up how we would normally build a stream to make that work out. I just love the look of all this. This deep pooling section just came out awesome. I love how it gets calm throughout here. But we choke these waterfalls down too, so we could get a lot of undercurrent and pushing that water. And you could see that current. It's really pushing that. What we wanted to do was try to alleviate having sedimentation occurring in there. So we wanted to have that water just really roaring through there, stirring that up so it can flow down through the entire system. We continued that outcropping motif on this other side here so we could create some depth and terracing, and also shift and move the water away from the system where we needed it. And then we've got the double biofalls that are split by this one big 2.5 ton accent boulder that's got some very similarly styled stones on either side to create the illusion that this is actually a natural shelf of rock that is rolling through this area. I love how much white water we've got running through this area. I love all the little details. Check out this guy here. We've got water falling in 2 different directions and they collide in that one little section. Just a really cool effect on how this feature came out. So here's that waterfall. Check out how water's coming that way and then that way. In midair they collide and create that little effect. And then we got water just barely rolling through a little rill and a crack in the stone, and then it shoots out and creates that secondary little guy there. Such a neat little touch. We love playing with the stone architecture and making it look as natural as possible. Check out that cantilevered stone there. That makes it look like this water just eroded and lapped at that edge and just chipped away at that over the years to give that illusion. And that's something you will see in nature from time to time if you're running down river banks, along the bluff cliff side of a stream. you'll see how that water has just etched away and left the stone overhanging like that. And those are the kind of little details we're trying to include in all of our features, because we want to try to mimic or recreate nature. This big fall here is really got a lot of visual. We've got so much water that's visual from this point up, which is exactly what the client wanted. That's where the whole reason for this deeper pooling section there is they wanted to see more water, because before they just didn't have the visual of that water because it was hidden. Now this truly is the focal point of the landscape, right dead center, and then they can do some plantings to accent it on the sides and not hide what they actually have going on here. Hopefully, I know that sun is right in the camera, but hopefully right behind there, let me get over here in the shade, hopefully behind these biofalls, in that space between the outcroppings in the back and this tree, they're gonna plant more stuff there to hide the driveway in the back, to make this really feel like it's coming out of a natural spring-like effect, creating purpose for this water feature. We set a nice accent boulder here, a big one, to camouflage our pump controllers, so that now is close to where the actual electric outlet was. But from this vantage point, we're only seeing that little outlet box, which they're going to be doing a little bit of landscaping to try to hide that. One simple grass, and that thing's pretty much gone from visual, but still accessible. So the whole theme is we got stone all throughout this space now, and the waterfall cuts between all of that stone and then disappears down into this basin, which in our minds continues into an underground stream of sorts beyond into nature. Actually, they live on a lake, so behind me in the house is where that water, in theory, would be going in nature. It would find its way. We left this big space here somewhat for a little bit of plants, but remember, when the customer is going to expand this driveway, they're going to cut this to get this turn to be a little bit more friendly with trailers and larger trucks. So it gives us that little bit of safety buffer. So eventually this might be actually a little closer to that viewing area. But check out this view from those kitchen windows. That's what we are looking for. This is what they're seeing now. So that basin waterfall is right in their face. They're seeing that water dancing around. They're catching glimpses of it up there from the front space. Over here, we also have a great view from that front porch there, that they're actually seeing the water now, because it is at a fair distance from the house and from the front door. But man, I tell you, this thing's ripping so good. It's hard to ignore it. Once you come up the driveway and get past those biofalls, you're hearing this thing, which is exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted lots of white water, lots of visual. We did not want this to be hidden like it was before. So that's a wrap, guys. This one is all buttoned up and done. We got her mulched up, cleaned up, running like a top, and it is just amazing how different this space feels compared to before. Honestly, it was kind of depressing feeling in that area because it was just overgrown and outdated, and you just had this sense that it was defunct because you knew it wasn't working, and because it wasn't, it was dry. And we completely transformed, redesigned this space, updated the look of the falls, and gave them the showpiece that they were looking for. Thanks for watching, guys. I tell you, if you like this kind of stuff, like, share, and subscribe this video, because we're trying to build our YouTube audience. We're pretty new to the channel, and we're really really hoping that people love what we're doing and want to see more of it. Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think about this feature, because we've got tons more cool projects ready to come your way.